Sarah Wyngaard from 3A Immigration, and I am beyond excited to be here talking to Laura Glish. We are speaking to you today from Presa 97, which is a restaurant and cultural center here in Guanajuato, Guanajuato. Now, Laura is an American expat and also operates a business here in Mexico. And as you all know, we at 3A Immigration help entrepreneurs around the world to establish businesses in various countries. All right, so thank you for coming here today. I really appreciate it, Laura. Now, as you know, I have actually lived in Guanajuato for quite a while. We were here, my family lived here for about 13 years, and I have spent so much time in this building. And when I tell y'all that this is just an architectural masterpiece, I am not exaggerating, to the point where there is a rumor that when Johnny Depp was here in Guanajuato and filming Once Upon a Time in Mexico, that he actually tried to buy this building, and I actually don't doubt that rumor at all. So thank you for taking the time with us today. I really appreciate it, Laura.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, so let's just kind of jump in with the questions that our viewers are going to find particularly interesting. And first off, I kind of want to ask a bit about your background. How the heck did you end up here in Guanajuato?
I took a very long route. I met my partner who is from here in West Africa when we were both living and working there about 12 years ago. And the first time I came to Guanajuato, I thought this is a place where I could really see myself living long term. So eventually we ended up building a house here and kind of settling here.
All right. And then, but it's another jump to start a business in Mexico as well. What was the inspiration for starting a business here in Mexico rather than the United States or, like you said, in Africa when you were there? What made you start it up in Mexico?
Well, for one, I wanted something to do. Being retired does not sit well with me at the moment. So I think here in Mexico, it's not the easiest to start a business, but also not the hardest thing to do, in the sense that there's lots of opportunities. A lot of people are open to new ideas. There are a lot of people that are looking for work and a good job as well. So I think it kind of came out of me being here, trying to figure out what I was going to do. And after actually many years of working in nonprofits, I think that businesses also have maybe a better chance at long-term positive change, not relying so much on external donor funding and whatnot, but being self-sufficient. And I thought that was a cool part about having our own business and being able to make those decisions and build that culture.
And you guys are making a difference in the community of Guanajuato as well. That it just is the truth, actually. Which actually, that kind of brings us to the idea of what are some of the businesses that you have in Presa 97 and some of the clubs and different activities that you have here?
So we have several different locally owned businesses. Almost all of them are owned and operated by women. We have Parlamento, which is one of the #1 bars in Guanajuato.
We are going to be taking some video in this bar because it is amazing, and everyone within Guanajuato is so happy. We really are so happy to have that bar in Guanajuato.
Yes. We also have several small businesses, like a small vinyl shop, vinyl records, a nail salon. We have a design shop, a balloon shop, a flower shop, and a cafe restaurant downstairs as well. But we also have a yoga studio where we have yoga, Pilates, other types of classes. We have several clubs, including a book club in Spanish, a book club in English, a wine club in all the languages. So there's really something for everyone, and we're trying to help people meet other people, which I think is also something that's hard to do as an adult. And a lot of the people that come here are people who either have moved here recently or have finished university and are now looking to figure out how do I meet people and where's a place that I can go that's maybe not a loud bar downtown where I can actually have a conversation and connect with somebody. And I think also since the pandemic that's been very important that people have realized in-person connection and a space to do that is very valuable.
You guys are building community here in Guanajuato is really what you're doing. Yeah. Well, and then on to kind of businesses and starting up a business. What were some of the hurdles that you faced opening up a business here in Mexico?
We started this business during the pandemic where everything was a bit hard because offices were closed and all that stuff. But we have a notary, which here in Mexico is higher than a lawyer, who helped us kind of write the articles of incorporation and get all that legal stuff settled. One of the big hurdles as well is getting an appointment with SAT, the IRS equivalent, to be able to get all the paperwork and documents that you need to be able to open a business bank account and whatnot. But from there, it hasn't been too difficult. I think aside from accounting is always the hardest part. Here in Mexico, it's every month you need to be submitting reports and paying taxes and all of those things.
Well, and that kind of goes to, I mean, how have you been able to regulate business, or Mexican business, not immigration, but the tax system and starting up a business here in Mexico? Is it you find a good attorney, a good notario, a good accountant? Is that necessary?
I think, yeah, a good notary and a good accountant are two very important pieces, because with a good accountant you can get all the paperwork that you need, and also obviously they're helping you submit all the right things every month, so you're not getting in trouble with SAT, the tax office.
Okay, and we mentioned that you're an American, and so how did you establish residency here in Mexico?
I had a child who was Mexican, so I got my visa through the family reunification process, which was quite easy for me. I don't know if I'd recommend it to everyone, having a child just to get Mexican citizenship, but I like her, so it's good. No.
Later she can. And then, okay, so so I guess that brings us to, how was navigating the visa process? I don't think you even had to hire an attorney because you were relying upon your daughter's citizenship, right?
Yeah, so she was born in the U.S., and then we went to the Mexican consulate to get her birth certificate for her Mexican birth certificate, since her father is Mexican. And then once I had her birth certificate, then it was very easy for me to get my visa.
All right. And then, okay, kind of an overall question. Do you have any advice for people from other countries who are considering moving to Mexico and opening up businesses in Mexico?
I think, depending on which country you're coming from, you have to understand the Mexican concept of time, the Mexican concept of yes. Doesn't always mean the same thing as it means we're in the U.S., for example. So being open-minded and understanding cultural differences is important. And because I worked many years in Africa where it's a similar context, that is expected. I mean, I expected all of that.
I think what you mean is yes means maybe sometimes.
Yes means maybe, or maybe it means no, but I don't want to say no to you. So I'm just going to say yes, and then you'll find out later that I actually meant I don't know, or I don't know what you're talking about, but I want to be polite.
Okay, and one other question is kind of looking back, because you and your partner have had this business now for, I think, 3 or 4 years. Is there anything that you would have done differently?
I think one thing is having more contact with a labor lawyer earlier on, just to kind of understand all of the ins and outs of the labor legal system, which even if you try to do everything correctly, sometimes can get you in trouble. And here the courts tend to very much side with the employee over the business, kind of no matter what actually happened or didn't happen. So I think that's also a very important part of having employees. I mean, first, that you pay them with the required benefits and taxes and all of these kinds of things, but that also they're, even on top of that, like having advice about contracts and how to manage these sorts of things is important.
And then the other thing that I did want to ask you about is you guys really are, you're building a community here, right? And so I'm guessing that there's been a lot of challenges, but I'm guessing there's been a lot of highs as well. And so do you have one thing that happened during your journey that you were like, yes, we are on the right track?
I think the first community that I'm building here is our internal community here with our team. So it's been very nice to see kind of everyone gel together and become friends and make this house like a nice place to work. So people enjoy coming to work every day, because at the end of the day, that's also very important to me, that I have a place where I can come, that I am happy to see people and they are happy to see me. At least they pretend like they're happy to see me.
I don't believe that for a second. And then finally, like, where do you see Presa 97 in, I don't know, 5 or 10 years? Because you guys really, it's a bit of a movement, because it's the architecture as well. They're doing a lot of work on this beautiful building. But like we talked about, it's also a community. And so what are you and your partner's goals for 5 or 10 years out?
I mean, one thing, yeah, like you said, is the house itself still has a lot of work to be done. It's a catalog building, so the process is slow. It's expensive. Maintaining this house is a lot of work. But in 5 to 10 years, I hope that it's really kind of back in its maybe not original state, but getting closer to it. And I hope that as well the businesses inside the house are thriving. It's not always easy to do business here as a small local business, but we're doing what we can, and the community as well coming together to do what they can to make this a positive place for everyone.
All right, and then finally, how can people connect with you and learn more about the lovely Presa 97?
We have a website, presa97.com. We also are on Instagram and Facebook. You can email us at hola@presa97.com, presa97.com. And yeah, we have spaces here for events as well, destination weddings. We just had a wedding here last night. You can come join a club. You can come have a drink or have a coffee. And we hope that you visit us soon.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I sincerely appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for watching. As y'all know, we at 3A Immigration are just beyond excited to help entrepreneurs around the world to start up businesses in various countries. So give us a call and let's get started.